it's Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on a Technique Thursday to share with you the generational stamping technique. So, got more of a simple card for you this week. Generational stamping, as I'm going to refer to it as, basically all I was looking to accomplish was to give kind of like a gradient type of feel from lighter to darker within a color family. I think it's a really simple concept or technique per se, that if you're looking for a simple card that you can make kind of easily is a good thing to keep in mind, because you could do this with a variety of different stamp sets, a variety of different color families, and really get a nice, beautiful looking card. Used here, the Delicate Delilahs, which is a free sale-a-bration set. We're running out of time for sale-a-bration, so if you like this, it is free with a qualifying purchase, and you're definitely going to want to reach out as soon as possible because sale-a-bration ends at the end of September. So if you like either this card or the stamp set in general, definitely don't wait. So anyways, I ended up casing this card from a fellow demonstrator, and I ended up using this stamp, which is the more full Delilah, but I wanted to do the like line drawing one because I just thought it, kept with the simple theme that I was going for. So I'm going to bring in my workstation and show you how I did this. Now, to me, the most important step of this, I'm not really going to be teaching you anything groundbreaking here this week, but the most important step of it is to practice with your colors first. I actually started with using this stamp, and it gave a very different look and feel for the card. It was still nice, but it wasn't really what I was trying to achieve. So then I moved into this stamp, and the colors carry differently, especially between, like, this is the distinctive style and this is more of a line art style. So the colors definitely hold into each of the different stamps differently. So I had to kind of rework a little bit when I switched the stamps. But essentially, you're going to want to take a piece of scrap paper or something so that you know that you've got the colors that work the best together, and you kind of practice whether you need first strength, second strength, and all that good stuff. So the 4 colors that I chose were Petal Pink, Blushing Bride, Flirty Flamingo, and Poppy Parade. And you'll see me do this as I go through this, but essentially I practiced on a white sheet to choose how I wanted the colors to lay out. And in doing so, I determined that for these 4 particular colors, it was the most successful if I did the Flirty Flamingo and Poppy Parade both at second strength. So that is what I will do. I took my line art Delilah, and then just going to go ahead and stamp that off the edge and quite near the top. Okay, now you definitely want to clean your stamp between each impression. Okay, and then another best practice is to absolutely close your pads when you're done using them, because too many beautiful cards have died at the expense of an open stamp pad. So next we've got Blushing Bride. I started with Petal Pink. I don't remember if I said that. But next we've got Blushing Bride. I kind of rotated the stamp a little bit. I just want a little bit of a different portion of it to be showing. So kind of gonna tuck this in here. Okay. Then clean it again. Next, we're going to be using Fleur de Flamingo, and this one is going to be stamped off. It is definitely a brighter pink, so that is why it's good to practice before you do your final piece. Now, it doesn't matter, at least in this layout, it doesn't matter if they're overlapping some, because I'm going to put that banner through the middle, and that will really cover up any overlaying or overlapping parts. So last but certainly not least, we've got Poppy Parade. And again, this one's going to be at second strength because this one is quite a strong color. So I'm gonna stamp that off and tuck that one in here as well. Okay, so now that I've got them all stamped, and I didn't mention, but like I said, this is a simpler card. There's a lot less layers, a lot less intricacies to it. So when you're doing a card on a white base, you definitely want to use the thick basic white so that the card has more integrity. So I started with thick basic white. Now, the next thing I did was I brought in my Stella and Stella'd each of the flowers, and I'm just gonna save you the time and not do that live with you. I'm gonna just keep walking through. I can't even tell if you can see that much. Oh yeah, there you go. It was just a nice finishing touch, and the other thing that I liked is it kind of softened a little bit of the lines and even brightened up some of the colors. So it was just a little way to add a little more. And then I took a 1 1/4 by 5.5 inch strip of basic white. I stamped Thank You Kindly from the Delicate Delilah stamp set, and I used actually Fleur de Flamingo in full strength, which kind of introduced another color, but absolutely stayed with that same color family that we're going with. I kind of liked having it stand out a little more. And then I took some ribbon. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but oopsies. It's Petal Pink, or excuse me, it's Pale Papaya. And of course it's not in this one. So we've got ribbons here. Pale Papaya and white, 1/2 inch ribbon. Again, it's kind of introducing another color, but it absolutely falls within this color family. So I thought that was a good choice to add quite a bit of detail and attention to the card. And before I actually adhere this down, I do want to point out so I cut it at 1 1/2 and then at 1/8 inch from the edge, I did score it. I just used the scoring blade on the Stampin' Trimmer and scored just a very light score line that, again, was just another small detail that sometimes it's those small little details that really make all the difference. So simply go ahead and adhere that. What I would do is put dimensionals along the top and then a piece of tear and tape along the bottom. And adhere that. And last but certainly not least, I finished it off with some basic rhinestones. So that's our more simple card and technique this week, but I really do like, this would be a really great, it obviously is a thank you card, but it could be any variety of cards. But, you know, I use a lot of thank you cards, and I think sometimes making something beautiful doesn't need to be a long, drawn-out, painstaking endeavor. So simpler cards like this still are beautiful and still are very well received. And, you know, you're not spending your whole day just trying to design one card. So what do you think of this card? What do you think? Sometimes I struggle with color schemes or struggle with, just being inspired by the right colors, I recently was inspired to use our DSP as an inspiration for colors so that, they do such a great job pulling colors together to create the DSP. So it's just, a lot of times a very good place to go get some inspiration. So that's kind of why I wanted to touch on this subject of this generational concept, because sometimes the color inspiration is right in front of you waiting to be found. So I hope you have a wonderful Technique Thursday, and you can catch Chris later tonight for some live stamping and card making. Not quite sure, can't remember what tonight is, and actually it might be Paper Pumpkin night. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and lots of sunshine, love, and hugs to you all.